Is Bitcoin a viable future currency or a novel asset class? And why it will never replace the conventional fiat money that is now? There are three main reasons why Bitcoin cannot replace the current fiat currencies of the world. Number one, Bitcoin has a limited supply of coins and it cannot save its system during a recession or prevent economic bubbles to occur. It is true that the magnitude of bubbles would be less pronounced, nevertheless, it will still happen. Due to its limited supply, it misallocates resources in the economy and makes temporal, unattractive industries. Think about this. When something gets hot in the market and people begin chasing it, there is going to be less money, Bitcoin, available in other essential industries, the so called defensives, such as utilities or industrials, so that those industries can still continue incentivizing their employees to work and deliver us essential goods or services. Let me give you an example. Suppose that the main stringent problem in the economy in 2020 is the COVID pandemic, and the solution generators find themselves in the healthcare industry. Moreover, the most potent companies in solving this issue are trading on the stock exchanges around the world, and they specialize in virology. Now, we feel it is a lot of Bitcoin to be made out of this problem, and we decide to invest in all companies who attempt developing solutions against it. It is important to bear in mind that not all of them will be successful in finding a cure. We as investors tend to place concentrated investments on one or two or three of them in the hope of finding the successful one. In the meantime, the data has been read out and only one of them provided significant efficiency against the virus, seeing a sharp appreciation in the share price, while the rest depreciated in value, losing a lot of investors' wealth. The consensus was built on the good expectations, however, most of us lost a large amount of Bitcoin, of wealth, and the winners were only a few who found the right one and short sellers. How can this huge wealth destruction can be solved by a limited amount of Bitcoin? Do we tax the rich and smart investors and short sellers? Will probably resent this alternative and an anarchy might start. In today's world, such a situation is solved by the central bank who prints money out of thin air and picks losers from depression, offering them a second chance to reinvent themselves and continue contributing to the betterment of the world. Of course, this solution is not available in a Bitcoin world where the limited supply does not allow the government to intervene and offer more Bitcoin. The second reason relates to the problem of incentives. If too many people are lured by the same financial asset, good or service, and this thing is not as essential for our living as other things, the whole world will suffer in terms of productivity and efficiency. We kind of touched upon this reason in the first argument, but it is worth mentioning that human beings perceive monetary value in terms of a necessary drive to work, and if it comes in smaller amounts, the quality of work execution can be highly disrupted and probably the whole operation can be stopped. The last reason why Bitcoin will not replace the current traditional currencies around the world relates to the problem of volatility and market stability. Is volatility the main issue in a Bitcoin world? This problem comes back again to the limited supply of Bitcoin. Financial market stability refers to the movement of assets in the world against their previous value, also known as intrinsic. Due to its scarcity as a virtual currency, the amount of buyers and sellers willing to commit Bitcoin at all prices will be less than their current number in a fiat world, leaving a lot of room for sharp and aggressive market moves at the discretion of the greed and fear of the market participants. So, in a Bitcoin world, the stability of markets can only be a dream. There are arguments made by risk lovers individually for aggressive moves in securities prices, which can offer the possibility for themselves to increase their profitability. However, at a macroeconomic view, the marginal benefit of those who profit from aggressive swings far outweighs the soundness and the stability of the system, which allows us to plan effectively for the unknown future. In conclusion, Bitcoin, with its current mechanism and supply, cannot replace the current central bank issued currencies around the world. Can it, however, be an asset to be held in a portfolio for the long term? Yes, as long as there are believers in it and as long as they assign a monetary value to it, Bitcoin will continue to be an asset traded between individuals and firms.